We are reading the first chapter in Act 2, which is Rolling in the Deep. This is chapter 14. The book is Staring at the Sun, and this is Act 2. I will probably be going back to Act 2 or doing acts because why I did that is because I'm naturally a script writer. Naturally, I write scripts. Also, disclaimer, this is like not my most this is the first time that I had a paranoid schizophrenic break. That's what I ended up having to walk away from my career. I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. I had a big team to try to help me and also ease me into the life of this is what life is like with paranoid schizophrenia, which means it's really hard to have a normal job. It's hard to really discern who's the villain in your story because you are usually the villain. So I've lived with it since I first broke around 15, split. So I've lived with it since I was 15. I thought I had borderline personality disorder, but I have full on paranoid schizophrenia. And I have a pretty severe case, but I've done so well for so many years with managing my symptoms that now that I'm on medication, I'm doing really well and I have a really strong support system. My sisters, I also sleep right. So, like, if I write crazy stuff on the internet throughout the years, at night, I usually am in a dream and I'm writing. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and like clean my house. That's that's mental health and you do crazy stuff like that. So have a strong support system, but disclaimer, this was all written when I was in full denial. Also writing the account of what happened the first time that I broke. These are the people that were in my life. And my marriage, I write really softly. We were both played parts in this. I don't even remember my marriage anymore. It's been like 4 years ago, but it's written, so I have to read it. And I write really sweetly about that. So Chapter 14, Rolling in the Deep. The next morning, after meeting an old friend in the park, I had to go back to work. Real world called, and COVID leave is over. My mind is pulling back. I have a bad feeling I'm about to wreck my life. Why do I self sabotage myself? I just have one more thing to say to my old buddy from drama class. Message sent. Shit. Can I unsend something? No. It belongs to the reader now, living in regret of continually opening old wounds. My leave was over. Back to work, met with my emptiness. Now, with my solid foundation crumbling, my foundation of a good job and a happy marriage, both were about to be gone. My boss tried to save me from drowning. She could not. My river was taking everyone out. My boss said leave, take medical leave. She told me to take time to figure this out. I was an emotional mess. She made me face that I have feelings for someone that is not my husband. It's not fair to put my husband through something that is clearly not over. That part of the story was never told to my husband. At the time, some things men do not want to hear about the love of his life. Best to leave that part out. And just a disclaimer, I never stepped out on my marriage. At the very end, I was in a paranoid schizophrenic break and I was trying to hook up with the FedEx guy. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I think we've all been there. I was I was not in a great place. I let him think what he wanted about why I did not come home. There is truth in everything. Maybe it would help him find himself while I'm gone. This should not take long. Just one thing I needed to do. I had an old bad habit that I cannot kick. My bad habits like the late nights. I had an old bad habit that I cannot kick. It has been lying dormant for years. It had reached a boiling point, piled on the mountain of guilt. Just know that I am sorry. My husband had made up for any wrongdoing that he has ever done. He did not deserve this. It should have been done with the park. And then I found additional wrongdoing. And just so it says, I loved Jeff very much for many years. Jeff is like my little brother that I should have never gotten a relationship with. So he's a good dad. He's a great person, and we were both just so toxic for each other, just so undiagnosed. We weren't treating our mental health, and we did the best that we could. And he, you know, is a major part of my life. So he's going to be in my story. And I wrote him well. I really did. That's why whenever he's very nervous about all this. And I wrote him really well, and I did the best that I could to show that I should have been on pretty heavy medication when I was 17, when I even hooked up with him. So when I hooked up with him originally, it was probably a paranoid schizophrenic break, and I should have just went home, but I didn't. He was always my ride all the time, and eventually I just carried on with life. I talk about openly with people um, because I respect my marriage. It went on for a really long time, and this was not okay behavior. And when I enter into my next relationship, hopefully it doesn't have to end this way. But this was the end. This was and we had been trying to break up since 2008. So by the time 2020 came, it was quite. It was quite a ta-da, because at the end of the day, like, were really good friends, and we really did rely on each other, and we had a child together, so we did the best that we could to stay together. So he said, "Stacy, please come home. My broken-hearted husband at the end of his rope. Guilt that I am trying to find myself during a rough time, while I always feel like I'm in a rough place. I need to find myself before it's too late. I am not happy and have not been in a long time, not because of my husband on the inside. My buddy in the park reminded me that if I do not get a hold of my mental health, I will be another casualty of war, like his brother, like my sister, like my fire buddy, and the list goes on. I want to make a mistake, be not perfect, be that happy girl that I was in high school, the person that these lonely old men remember, a big smile, deep laugh, curvy frame, and eyes that could melt your insides. So why am I acting like this of all times? We are waiting to see what my mom's PET scan results are, literally life or death results, which is why I'm here. I think I went on a journey. Which is why I think I went on a journey. When you are facing losing someone, when you are facing losing someone, you've never gone a day without knowing. You start to take stock of your life. Who was I missing? Anything I need to air out? What if those results were mine? What if those results shown what my mom's did? On this journey of trying to heal from past trauma and unresolved issues, I had one stop, but there's a reason that this stop is last. My boss gave me an unlimited time to get my shit together. Let me see if I can heal 31 years of trauma in a couple days. Girl, that boy had me a hot mess. I needed to get him out of my system because I cannot afford to destroy my life anymore. But I have to. It's do or die. I was facing the fact that I could be in love with another boy. That's one of my favorite songs, the Billie Eilish song, Do or Die. I love that song. I was facing the fact that I could be in love with another boy. And then we're going to stop there, and then I'm going to finish. I'm going to carry on. My chapters at the end of my book are a little longer, so